I can take you through it real quick. So, uh, are you ready? Okay. So, as we talked about at the last Board of Finance meeting, the wall was cracked. We knew it had some damage to it, and then over the course of the weekend, we had that storm roll in. And from what it sounds like, that storm, if it was in the summertime or fall, it would have been a close to a Category 1 hurricane. It sounded like. So that took the wall down. The wall collapsed, and we have photos here. I could send you guys that the wall collapsed, and our parking lot is now being eroded with every wave that washes onto the whatever's left. So we've lost roughly 30 feet of the parking lot already. So if you've driven down there and looked, I mean we're missing about 10 parking spaces already. With on top of the benches and the wall. So this 25,000 will be an emergency repair. We're going to spend about 5 to 10 grand on concrete blocks, giant concrete blocks. We're going to shore up where the wall was with these concrete blocks, tie them together with steel. So it's going to be about 10 grand in parts, 10, 15 grand in labor. But that's just a temporary fix to keep the wall, to keep things from eroding further, because every wave is washing part of our parking lot away, and that's just getting more and more costly. So the 25,000 appropriation will be paid from ARPA. We got a legal opinion from Tracy Collins before she left for Portugal for the holidays, and she said this is a good use of the funds. And so this is only temporary, right? So we just want everyone to know this is just a temporary stopgap until we have to, look for a more permanent solution. The engineering department estimates about 300,000 to permanently fix this wall. So what we're going to do is, after the holidays, I have a call in with bond counsel and our financial advisor, and we're probably going to have to go through the gyrations again to go back out and get an additional bond resolution. And we probably won't need the money because it's 300,000 we can float, but we're going to need to go to get the resolutions, and then in August, when we roll our bond anticipation notes into actual bonds, we'll just roll this 400,000, whatever it is, into that. So we can front this with the major project with cash in the time being, but that'll be probably a March April discussion. When we go to the full scale project, we'll follow the purchasing policy. I mean, technically, this follows purchasing policy. We have an emergency and exigent circumstance provision that this definitely falls into. And we're talking. We're kind of the general contractor, so we're going to procure the parts and then procure a contract because we don't have excavators large enough to lift these multi-ton concrete blocks. So. So one of the options, we did have a couple quotes from contractors. One contractor quoted us 120 grand to put in metal sheet pile metal or something like that, like 20-foot metal pilings. But that again would have only be a temporary solution. You really need, the engineering department, probably an engineering firm to come in and do a full scale. Engineering study and everything with this wall because it's just constantly getting beat with water, the entire, all day, every day. So I don't think there's. Yeah, so we have, oh, I had the paper over there and it's gone. We have $69,000 of unspent ARPA money right now, unexpended, unappropriated ARPA money. So this will come out of that. We know of a couple projects that recently have closed. We have water and sewer just closed out 2 projects to the tune of 190,000, and they were asking, the Board of Selectmen to reappropriate that for an additional water project, but we'll see the prioritization of that. And then Parks and Rec has one of their, I think it's the restroom project, was originally scheduled for 200,000. I believe they needed 35 of that. So, and we've already pulled some of that back, but I believe there's 128,000 left to pull back that the Park and Rec director was comfortable with. So there's we have a couple 100,000 floating around there if we close out those funds, and then it'll just be a matter of prioritization from the Board of Selectmen of how that money gets appropriated, right? I can hear you, John. I believe it is 12/31/2026. I'll check the actual dates, but I'm 97.5% certain. So there's 2.5% of me that's not quite sure, but 97% thinks it's 12/31/26. And we've spent a good majority of that money already. It's just some of these projects that they're working their way through the pipeline here. So we're going to there's a Board of Selectmen meeting at 2 o'clock tonight, today, to schedule the town meeting. So yeah, we're going to try to put those blocks in. I believe we've either issued a purchase order already under a different public works line, one of his road maintenance lines or something like that, just to procure the bricks as soon as we can, because every day we're just losing a couple more feet and the problem just exacerbates itself. So the idea is to get those blocks in place, and the engineering department of Public Works is already working on the plans for final design. That they were doing that. They've been doing that for about a month, ever since the first cracks in the wall when they knew it needed to be fixed. And we did a temporary, I don't want to say repair, but we filled it with some riprap, large rocks, or handheld sized rocks, I guess, because there was a 4-foot gap there for a couple weeks. So they're working right now to do the final design, and it should be. They're anticipating before the beach season that wall will be up and done.